Are hidden property liens waiting to surprise you? Discover how to safeguard your investments by checking property liens online in Yolo County. This crucial and often overlooked step can save you from unexpected financial burdens.
Welcome to this explainer. Now, I want you to just imagine this for a second. You've just closed on what you thought was the absolutely perfect piece of real estate, right? But then, out of nowhere, you discover a massive, unexpected debt is attached to the title. It is a terrifying reality. Assuming someone else's financial burden can literally derail your entire investment. But hey, don't worry, because you are not alone in this. Consider me your expert navigator. Today, we're going to safely guide you through this real estate minefield so you can confidently secure your assets without any nasty surprises.
So, here is our roadmap for today. First, an intro to property liens. Second, understanding Yolo County basics. Third, navigating the online systems. Fourth, interpreting and taking action. Fifth, common search pitfalls. And finally, our conclusion and disclaimer.
All right, Section 1, Intro to Property Liens. Let's dive right into this by first understanding the actual financial traps we're trying to avoid here.
Okay, so what exactly is a property lien? Well, it's a recorded encumbrance on real estate. It essentially asserts a legal and financial claim against a property. Think of things like unpaid taxes, court judgments, or even unpaid contractor bills. And this claim establishes priority over any subsequent claims. Now, what's really fascinating here is California's Civil Code Section 1213. This law states that recording these instruments provides what's called constructive notice to the public. That's a legal term, but it basically means that whether you actually looked at the records or not, the law assumes you know about them simply because they're publicly available. No excuses. This makes checking them an absolute must for your due diligence.
Moving right along to Section 2, Understanding Yolo County Basics. Now, what's super interesting about Yolo County is how they actually disperse this critical information. You really have to treat property liens like a hidden matrix. To make sure you have a completely clear title, you actually have to navigate 3 totally disconnected digital portals. It's like a puzzle. First up, you have the Clerk Recorder Self-Service Portal. That's where you look for deeds, trusts, and mechanics liens, and you search using the names of the buyer or seller. Second, there's the Property Tax Portal, which is managed by the tax collector. That one handles tax obligations and requires a parcel or assessment number. And third, the Superior Court Access System, which holds active lawsuits and judgments. For that one, you search by litigant name or case number. Listen, missing even one of these portals leaves a massive blind spot in your research.
So the absolutely crucial point here is understanding the role of the clerk recorder's office itself. They function strictly as a ministerial registry. In plain English, it means they do not create the liens, and they definitely don't verify the validity, accuracy, or legal adequacy of the documents submitted to them. They just record exactly what is handed to them. So if there's a falsely recorded lien, maybe due to a clerical mistake or just a shared name, the burden of correcting that rests entirely on your shoulders, not the county's.
All right, Section 3, Navigating the Online Systems. Let's get into the execution phase. Getting your hands on the actual document images from the Yolo County Tyler Technologies web portal requires a slightly clunky, multi-step process. Because the county has strict privacy and access rules, you can't just click and view everything for free. First, you search by name or document number in the index. Second, you add the identified record to your digital shopping cart. But here's the major catch. Online payments aren't actually integrated into the web portal. I know, right? To finalize your order, you literally have to pick up the phone and call the clerk recorder's office at 530-666-8130 to pay via credit card. But wait, there is a major structural constraint you really need to be aware of here. If the property you're researching has a very old history, you are not going to find everything online. Records prior to 1960, specifically historical bonds, leases, older lien volumes, mortgages, and historical maps, are completely excluded from digital searches. To uncover these, you've got to conduct an in-person manual search at the Woodland office kiosks, or you can submit a specific email request for the staff to pull those physical copies for you. And when you do order documents, it is vital to know the official costs so you don't end up overpaying. My pragmatic advice here? Rely only on the official county fee schedule. A standard copy is just $5 for the first page and $2 for each additional page, plus a $4 fee if you want PDF email delivery. You've really got to beware of some third-party search sites out there. They often inaccurately quote much higher baseline fees, like $7.35 just for a first page, which can totally inflate your research budget for no reason. Stick to the official county avenues whenever you possibly can. Section 4, Interpreting and Taking Action.
Once you actually have the documents in hand, you need to know exactly what you're looking at. You might uncover a few different categories of financial landmines. You could see a deed of trust, which is just your normal voluntary mortgage lien. No big deal. But you really need to watch out for the involuntary ones, things like abstracts of judgment from civil lawsuits, mechanics liens filed by unpaid contractors, or state and county tax liens. You might even stumble across a lis pendens. That's a formal notice that the property is currently tied up in active litigation. So, what happens if you actually uncover a lien, especially one you believe is a complete error? Well, here are the highly actionable steps you absolutely must take. First, verify the identifying info. Because the clerk recorder indexes by name, homonym matches, meaning someone with your exact same name has a lien, happen all the time. Second, contact the specific agency that recorded the lien. Third, you must prove your differing information to them, or, well, if the debt is valid, you've got to pay it. Fourth, and this is critical, ensure a formal release of lien is recorded with the county. Finally, obtain a certified copy of that release and provide it directly to the credit bureaus. Do not skip that last step because they often fail to update this stuff automatically. Section 5, Common Search Pitfalls. Let's navigate around the biggest traps out there. I literally cannot stress this enough. You have to adapt your search strategy based on the specific portal you're using. The clerk recorder system relies entirely on name-based indexing. If you only search John Smith, you might completely miss a lien filed under John A. Smith or some weird misspelled variation. You've got to check all the permutations. On the flip side, the tax collector system is parcel-based. For that one, you must search using the assessor's parcel number, or APN, or the exact physical street address. Mixing up these two approaches guarantees you're going to miss critical records. Also, to prevent total cognitive overload, just remember that not every single asset type lives in the county real estate ledger. Mobile homes, for instance, managed completely separately by the California Department of Housing and Community Development. A last will and testament, that's filed in probate court, not with the recorder. And unsecured property taxes, which apply to things like personal property or business equipment, they do not automatically attach to real estate. Knowing these boundaries is going to save you from wasting hours searching for records that simply aren't there. And finally, Section 6, Conclusion and Disclaimer. Let's wrap up our map of the Yolo County digital landscape. Let's recap the crucial milestones of a really thorough due diligence search. First, always check all 3 distinct county portals. Second, master both those name-based permutations and the parcel-based APN searches. Third, remember the quirk of the system. You have to call 530-666-8130 to actually finalize your online copy orders. And finally, be prepared to do manual kiosk research in Woodland if your property's history predates 1960. When it comes to this stuff, absolute thoroughness is your best defense. Now, I really need to emphasize this clearly. While this explainer equips you with robust structural knowledge of the county systems, it is for informational purposes only. This does not constitute legal advice. Property law can be incredibly complex. For specific situations, anomalies, or really complex title cases, you should always consult a qualified real estate attorney or a professional title company to assist you. So we've mapped the terrain, we've identified the traps, and we've handed you the tools to uncover the absolute truth about any property in Yolo County. The power to protect your investment is literally right there at your fingertips. I'll leave you with this. Are you fully prepared to navigate the hidden minefields of real estate before signing your next contract? Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and hey, happy researching!